I just don't know how to do laundry the right way. I always mess up the dishwasher. You're so much better at it. If you've heard some version of this enough times that you just stopped asking and started doing it yourself every time, I need to tell you something. That's not incompetence. That might be a strategy, and it's working exactly as intended. Today I'm breaking down weaponized incompetence, not just a definition. Everyone already knows the definition. I'm talking about the actual psychological mechanism that makes it so effective and the specific difference between someone doing this on purpose versus someone who genuinely believes they can't. By the end, you'll know exactly which one you're actually dealing with. The mechanism underneath this is called negative reinforcement, real, well-established behavioral psychology, the same principle behind why procrastination and avoidance are so hard to break in general. Stick around for the part where I show you the exact difference between this and learned helplessness, because they look almost identical from the outside, but treating one like the other makes everything worse, not better. Here's the reframe for this whole video. This isn't really about someone being bad at laundry. It's about what happens, automatically, to anyone's behavior, yours, mine, anyone's, the moment doing a task badly gets you out of doing it again. That's not a personality trait. That's just how reinforcement works. And it's worth understanding the mechanism so you can actually catch it in real time. Let's get into the mechanism. Here's the psychology term that explains basically the entire pattern. Negative reinforcement. Not punishment. Reinforcement. Meaning a behavior gets more likely because something unpleasant gets removed as a result. If doing a task poorly consistently results in someone else taking it over, the poorly behavior just got reinforced. Not because the person is consciously scheming, necessarily, but because their brain just learned mechanically that messing it up removes the responsibility they didn't want in the first place. This matters because it explains why the pattern is so incredibly consistent and hard to break through frustration or arguing alone. It's not that the person doesn't understand how to load a dishwasher properly. It's that doing it wrong has been quietly and repeatedly rewarded with the exact outcome they wanted. Not having to do it, often for months or years before anyone named the pattern at all. Picture a roommate who, every time they're asked to handle the dishes, does it so incompletely that the other roommate ends up rewashing everything anyway. After enough repetitions, the other roommate just starts doing the dishes themselves to avoid the hassle. The incompetent roommate has, mechanically, been rewarded. The unwanted task disappeared entirely, without them ever having to improve or push back directly. Whether or not this started as a conscious decision, it's now being reinforced every single time it works. Here's the distinction almost nobody explains clearly, and it genuinely matters. Weaponized incompetence and learned helplessness look nearly identical from the outside, but they're mechanically different, and mixing them up leads to completely the wrong response. Learned helplessness happens when someone has been through repeated failure or punishment for trying, until they genuinely believe, at a deep level, that they have no control over the outcome. It's largely unconscious, and it isn't benefiting them in any real way. Weaponized incompetence, by contrast, is reinforced specifically because it does benefit the person, even if it started unconsciously. The responsibility genuinely goes away every single time it doesn't work out. The practical test: does incompetence only show up around tasks the person clearly doesn't want to do, while they're perfectly capable and detail-oriented in areas they actually care about? That inconsistency is the tell. Genuine learned helplessness tends to show up more broadly and consistently, not selectively around chores or tasks that happen to be inconvenient. Consider someone who can't figure out how the washing machine works, but has zero trouble mastering a genuinely complicated video game system or perfectly executing a detailed project at work. That selective incompetence, total capability in areas they care about, sudden helplessness in areas they don't, is a strong indicator this isn't a general capability issue. It's targeted, and the targeting itself is the evidence. If the I can't only ever shows up around tasks that benefit someone else, and never around things that benefit them personally, that selectivity is the single clearest signal you're looking at. So far, the mechanism is negative reinforcement, and the key giveaway distinguishing it from genuine learned helplessness is whether the incompetence is selective or general. Part 3 covers why calling this out directly usually backfires. Here's something worth knowing before you try to fix this. Directly accusing someone of weaponized incompetence often triggers defensiveness rather than change, because from their side, the incompetence often doesn't feel like a deliberate strategy at all. Reinforcement can shape behavior completely below conscious awareness. Someone can be genuinely reinforced into this pattern without ever consciously deciding, I'm going to fake being bad at this. This is also exactly why the usual response, doing the task yourself out of frustration, or explaining in more and more detail how to do it correctly, makes the pattern worse, not better. Taking over the task is the literal reinforcement mechanism at work. And over-explaining just gives someone more raw material to get wrong the next time, if the underlying incentive to avoid the task hasn't actually changed. Consider a partner who explains, in painstaking detail, exactly how to properly fold laundry, hoping thoroughness will finally fix a problem, only to find the same mistakes happening again a few weeks later. The detailed explanation didn't address the actual mechanism at all. It just added more specific instructions to selectively forget, while the real incentive, avoiding the task entirely by doing it just badly enough, never actually changed. The real fix isn't better explanations or more frustration. It's changing what happens after the task is done poorly. If doing it badly stops resulting in someone else taking over, and instead results in redoing it themselves, the reinforcement that's been driving the whole pattern actually gets removed. I want to be real about this. This isn't about never helping anyone, or turning every chore into a power struggle. It's about noticing the specific moment you're about to take something back over, and asking whether that's genuinely necessary, or whether it's the exact reinforcement keeping this whole cycle running. The actual fix, according to behavioral psychology, is straightforward in concept and genuinely hard in practice. Stop removing the natural consequence of the task being done poorly. If dishes get done badly, they sit there or get redone by the same person who did them badly, not by whoever's been quietly absorbing the fallout. This isn't about punishment. It's about letting the natural outcome of an action actually reach the person who caused it, instead of a third party consistently intercepting it. The second piece, naming the specific pattern clearly and calmly, without accusation, focus on the behavior and its impact rather than the person's character. Something like, when this doesn't get done right, I end up doing it twice, and I need that to actually change, names the mechanism directly, without requiring you to prove intent, which is usually impossible to prove anyway and isn't actually necessary for the fix to work. Consider a couple where one partner stops immediately redoing chores that were done incompletely, and instead calmly lets a natural consequence stand. The task simply isn't finished and stays unfinished until it's actually handled properly by whoever was responsible for it. Within a few repetitions, the pattern frequently shifts, not because anyone had a dramatic conversation about manipulation, but because the reinforcement that was quietly driving the whole cycle finally stopped being available. Here's what ties this entire video together. Weaponized incompetence isn't really about laundry or dishes or any specific task. It's about what happens to anyone's behavior when doing something poorly reliably removes an unwanted responsibility. That's not a character flaw exclusive to certain people. It's a mechanism that would shape almost anyone's behavior the same way, given enough repetition. Recognizing this doesn't mean assuming everyone who's genuinely bad at a task is secretly manipulating you. Sometimes people are just actually still learning. The distinguishing factor is selectivity and consistency. Incompetence that shows up specifically and only around unwanted tasks, while full competence shows up everywhere else, is a pattern worth naming directly. Be honest. Has this ever happened in your house, your relationship, or your group project? I want to hear the most relatable example in the comments, because I guarantee a lot of people watching have a story. The "I just can't" that only ever shows up around stuff someone doesn't want to do isn't a coincidence. Now you know exactly what's actually happening, and exactly what to do about it. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and I'll see you in the next one.